All right, Tool Talk fans, I've got a new video for you guys. We are taking the Jeep from stock to 35s with a Mopar lift, and now we're about to go take this thing and get some 37s put on it. I am staging this up after the axle install because I want to still be able to tow with it. I still want to have that usability, but what I really want to show you guys is that you can put 37s with these bigger axles and still be able to tow, still be able to pull people out of the mud and not worry about snapping shafts. So let's go see what we have in store at the tire shop. All right, Tool Talk, we're at the shop. These are 33s and these are 305s, so these are kind of a wider version of 33. And you have a 35, a little bit wider 35. You move on up to a 40-inch tire. These are the new Mickey Thompsons. And then this is a 46-inch tire. I'm here getting 37s, but just to give you an idea of just how they step up. All right, and so what we're working on, we're going from a 35 to a 37, and this is where I'm going to end up. There's the size difference.
You're also the acting principal, right?
So there you go. That's a 35 versus 37. I think it's going to look really good out of there.
Just going to jack it up a bit.
Yeah, jack it up a little bit. It's about 2 inches, right? Should be. Yeah, that's going to be a big difference. All right, after a couple hour wait, I kind of came in late in the day. It's late here, paid my bill. I'm about to go see my truck. All right, guys, here it is. Oh man, that looks so good, guys. Nice work. Oh, geez, guys. Man, look at this. Oh, it looks like a different truck. Oh, man. All right, guys, going down the road, initial driving impressions is that I'm sitting at like 38 PSI. One of the tires they have at 41 PSI on the dash here, and it's riding really good. It is a little bit less, solid feeling, but I think that's just the air pressure, and it feels a little bit like it did before I aired down the 35. So that I don't think is really a player. What you have to pay attention to is the contact patch and getting a good shock measurement. So spent 3 hours there. They were really booked up. The truck feels between a 35 and a 37. The truck feels like it's ginormous. I passed a full-size pickup earlier where even with 35s I kind of felt like I was still smaller than that truck, even though I'm probably on, 4 or 5 sizes bigger than the stock version of that truck. But I now feel like when I'm driving, it just feels like it did, like I was hoping it would when I lifted it and put some bigger tires on it. The 35's just, it sounds like it wouldn't make that big a difference with it being 2 inches of tire, but I was gonna do a 40. I was gonna go nuts. I'm like, where I really want this thing to feel big. But then I had a buddy who is here on Guam, and he drove by and saw his truck. Shout out to Jose there. And then put the 37s on, and oh my word, this is exactly where I need to have my truck. If you're gonna buy the Gladiator, do the 37s right from the bat. Now I gotta find a buyer for these guys back here. Truck bed full of 35s, and they only have like 1,000 miles on them. I should be able to recoup some of my money, and that in and of itself, I've said it probably a million times on the forums, on Facebook. The one regret I had in the Gladiator, even after all the steering work that I've done and made videos about, I've got all my steering dialed in and I'm super happy with how the truck drives, but it's the tires. The one regret was not going to 37s right from the bat. These trucks are big enough, they can handle it. The stock axles on a Sport and Rubicon are both 32 spline. They can handle the weight and the size all day. And then if you start getting serious about off-roading, check out my other videos. I got ARB lockers in here, 35 spline super shafts in the rear. I will be able to tow and pull people out of mud and not have to worry about snapping shafts and stuff. So 37s on the upgraded Dana 44s I think are going to be bulletproof for me, and that's why I'm kind of doing this review on the road. So let me wrap this up. I'm almost home, it's getting dark, and we'll do one more walk around in the Jeep and finish this up. All right, so we're sitting right at about 36 inches tall, measured, for the 37-inch Cooper STT Pros. All right, and the General Grabber X3 measured out at a little over 34 inches, and this is a 35-inch tire, so it's about almost an inch shorter than the advertised height. So this is unmounted, but you get an idea of going from a 35, which is 34 inches, to a 37, which is 36, is still close to about a 2-inch difference. All right, so the next step to changing your tires from 31s, 33s, 37s, whatever you end up with, is to get the Tazer. I have a Tazer video out there, but I'm gonna do a better one, so stay tuned for that one for the Tool Talk page. But on this part, we're going to just go ahead and go into Tazer. We're going to turn our truck to run without hitting the brake pedal to start the truck. Let it boot up. So scroll down until you get to the radio. And in the radio, you're going to press this button and cancel. So you're going to hit the left and cancel. So just the two left buttons. So we'll hit those. This menu, I'm going to hit it again. I'm going to go to perf, and then I'm going to press this button together with this button, and it's going to start climbing. So I measured my 37s to be like 36.25, which is really larger than most 37s. These are Cooper tires. So you just got to keep pressing it. So we'll go to 2.7. Okay. So from there, I'm going to select that. So that has been set to tire size 36.27. And we're going to confirm that with this to get it to take. Otherwise, it's still going to be off. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's just, again, pressing the center button rather than cancel. So now we're rebooting. And that would be, I press this button to select it, and this button. About 30 seconds, it reset on its own. It then boots back up, finishes the sequence, the radio's out, and that's it. So I'm gonna shut the truck off, open the door, then everything should, like I got out of the truck, so the truck thinks I'm out. All right, so I know a lot of questions that come up is, can I fit a 3-inch lift with 37s and get it in my garage? So for sake of this video, we're gonna go and measure that as well. At the very top height here, I have about 70, we'll say 77 inches to have a little bit of slop in there. It'll be 76 to 77 inches. This is the Mopar lift with a 3/4 inch spacer to level. So I'm getting about 2 3/4 or 3 inches of lift total in this suspension. So you can kind of take that and use it for other suspensions. On the light bar, if you have a light bar, I'm probably sitting more like, it's pretty close to the roof, so still about 77, maybe 77.5 inches is where I'm at on this lift combination and wheel and tire combination. The tires measured out at 36 inches. I'm about 20.5 inches off the ground to the edge of my step, and then I'm at 77 to 78 inches with the light bar, or 77 inches with the roof. So hopefully that'll help some of you all out when you're trying to gauge if this will fit in your garage. I believe in my last garage it was about 7 or 8 feet, 7 to 7.5 feet, and I think I would have cleared it at this level. And just for one more measurement, let's check the back, because the back is a little bit higher with the rake. There's a slight half-inch rake on this truck. I tried to correct it with the spacer, but it still left a little bit in there. And on this one, we're roughly about 70. We're looking like we're about 78 and a half. So it is a little bit more in the rear as you're coming into the garage. So there's about an inch difference, which that checks against the bottom of the truck as well. So hopefully those measurements will help you guys out. All right, well, this pretty much wraps up the tire video. I tried to capture as much excitement and as much change as there was available to getting 35s to 37s, and I think that you'll find that if you just start with 37s, the truck already has Dana 44s in all forms. Whether you have the Sport S, the Basic, the Overland, the Max Tow, or the Rubicon, they all come with Dana 44s. The gearing is what people get caught up on, but I think with 373s, I didn't notice a drastic change from 35s to 37s. It drives great. So I will say I think the best thing you can do is get a 2 or 3 inch lift under these trucks. Start with 37s. I think you're not going to have to, most people won't have to upgrade to much more. There's that excitement to go to 40s, and then I think you're going to have to do much bigger axles. But I think if you're doing regular driving, 37s on the Gladiator is just the way to start. So save your money and don't do 35s. They're almost the same price anyway. We were just trying to kind of get a feel for the new platform, and 37s were definitely it. Stay tuned, click like and subscribe, and we'll put another video out soon. We need to get this thing off-road.